So when the laser-guided nuclear holotip splody thing goes boom inside of an animal, is this when you did the racism? Emergency gun meme review. What is up, you sexy YouTube mother lovers? Last time we did a video on this topic, I got a strike from YouTube, so let's see what happens this time. Now, if you guys didn't know, Kyle Rittenhouse, the Kenosha kid, is currently on trial. Really, he's been on trial this entire past week, but there have been a ton of memes coming out of this. I've been watching pretty much the whole thing live, and there's just a lot of details, and I know a lot of you guys can't watch the whole damn trial live, so I figured it'd be good to do a video breaking down exactly what's happening with the Kenosha kid and where the trial stands as of now. I thought we knew the full story, but a lot of details have actually come out, and of course, to help me tell those details, we have plenty of memes that have been hitting the meme sphere on the internet. Now, mainstream media coverage of this has been dog shit, predictably, but in this case, actually worse than usual. So I know you guys are coming to the one place you know you can always trust for unbiased news. Okay, at least correct news. Most of the time. Let's get into it. So the TLDR on the whole thing is that Kyle Rittenhouse was in Kenosha during the BLM riots. He was there cleaning up graffiti, putting out fires, things like that. Had his AR-15 on him and had a medical bag and was going around offering medical assistance. He had been threatened multiple times by several of the rioters, including some characters that we'll run into later.
Shoot me, nigga! Shoot me, nigga!
The crowd ends up targeting Kyle, chases him off, and he ends up shooting 3 people, killing 2 of them. Not all at once, mind you. Even after the first guy, he continues to run, trying to get safety at police lines, and the mob continues to follow him and attack him and hit him over the head with objects. I'm not going to get into the details of it just yet, but that's the TLDR on that. I know you guys are probably mostly familiar with the trial. That's just for the guys who, don't read. He's currently charged with first-degree reckless homicide, first-degree recklessly endangering safety, first-degree intentional homicide, attempted first-degree intentional homicide, first-degree reckless endangering safety, and possession of a dangerous weapon by a person under 18. So let's meet the prosecution. In the state's corner, trying to put now 18-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse in jail for the rest of his life, we have Thomas Binger, aka Evil Commissioner Gordon from The Dark Knight. Mr. Rittenhouse, are you seriously trying to tell me billionaire Bruce Wayne is some type of nighttime vigilante? This dude is a major dickhead. I can't stand this dude. Well, we'll get into that later. Now, overseeing the trial, we have Judge Bruce Schroeder. He's a little bit of a boomer, but I actually like him as a judge. He's made a couple confusing decisions, but all in all, I think he's thinking very clearly about this, and he sees right through the prosecution's bullshit on a lot of issues. It's gotta be pretty hard for Judge Schroeder, though, because it seems like he's wearing 2 hats this trial. One, of course, he has to be the judge, but on the other hand, he's also Kyle's fucking legal defense, because it doesn't seem like there's anybody else in the courtroom doing that job. I'm not even gonna get into Kyle's legal defense, because from what I've seen, frankly, they're just about as present as your dad who left for cigarettes when you were 12 years old and never came back. And then again, on the prosecution side, you have who I refer to as Big Boy. He's just kind of funny. Okay, so we have the setup, we have the players. Let's get into it. First notable witness, we have none other than Bicep Boy himself, Gage Groskowitz. He was the guy we remember from the video where he ran at Kyle with a Glock while he was on the ground. And then Kyle gave him the spicy bicep. Gage Groskowitz, the boy who lived, come to lie. His testimony was absolutely infuriating. For one, when in all the video evidence we had, he's clearly chasing Kyle. He refuses to call it chasing. He was just moving intentionally in the direction of Kyle with a gun, but not chasing him.
You look like at that point you're moving. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay. So with him 30 feet ahead of you, running away from you, at that point you pull your firearm and begin to chase him, correct?
No.
You don't begin to chase him?
Nope. No, I do not.
You head in the direction that he's running. Yes?
Correct.
But you just happen to be running in that direction? It has nothing to do with Kyle Rittenhouse running in that direction?
No, it does have to do with the defendant running in that direction, yes.
Okay. So you are trying to chase him down?
No.
The other thing is he described an AR-15 as a, quote, very large caliber rifle. Is it though? 50 BMG. That's a pretty large caliber rifle. 7.62 by 54R. Pretty decent sized rifle round. 5.56, what the AR-15 is chambered in. This is a very large caliber rifle? Okay. One of the smallest common rifle calibers. It's not a .22, but okay. The golden moment, though, of his testimony is toward the end of him being cross-examined about the moment that he approached Kyle Rittenhouse with a gun. This was the moment that the prosecution's case fell apart.
It wasn't until you pointed your gun at him, advanced on him, with your gun, now your hands down, pointed at him, that he fired, right?
Correct.
I love that slow zoom in as he just looks down like he knows he fucked up. I mean, kudos for telling the truth, but that was probably the wrong truth for the outcome you wanted. Prosecution knew it was over immediately after this sentence. It went pretty viral afterward. Breaking: prosecutor hangs head in shame after star witness admits he was only shot after pointing a gun at Kyle Rittenhouse. So this whole bullshit narrative that came afterward, this whole, oh, I was running up with him with a gun to surrender to him. Yeah, okay, that completely fucking fell apart. And it fell apart straight from his mouth.
Correct.
The case against Kyle Rittenhouse. Gage spilled the chili. Restaurant: 5 and under eat free. Dad: he's 5. No, I'm 6. Dad. That brings back some very specific memories of like going out to eat with my family at like Golden Corral or some shit. So that whole day was a big win for Kyle. But then a day or so later, something really strange happened. Kyle himself took the stand to testify. Now, to my understanding, what I've been told, this is very unusual for a criminal murder trial. This opens the door to cross-examination, and tactically speaking, just is generally regarded as a bad strategic move. But Kyle apparently felt the need to tell his side of the story. And to be honest, I feel like he did a really good job. He gave a very emotional testimony that I'll talk about that a little bit later. I don't want to kill the mood right up front. But after his testimony was finished, he was cross-examined by the prosecution. That's how things work. So Binger was allowed to ask Kyle questions, and now we're gonna get into my favorite topic of the evening, how much I fucking dislike Binger. For one, he's a fucking idiot, but the other, he's just a smug little bastard. You're an attorney at a criminal murder trial trying to put an 18-year-old in prison for the rest of his fucking life, and you show up with Star Wars lapel pins like you're some sort of fucking high school 16-year-old debate student. Cause we're the rebels and they're the Empire, cause we're the good guys. Fuck you. Right off the bat, this is where the trial gets pretty fucking hilarious. So immediately starting his cross-examination, he pisses off the judge. So he goes down a weird line of questioning right off the bat, basically questioning Kyle's pre-trial silence. Huge fucking no-no, by the way. For those of you who don't live in the US, we have something in our Bill of Rights, the Fifth Amendment to the US Constitution, that basically says that you have the right to remain silent. This is when the judge asks the jury to leave so he can rip Binger a new asshole.
Astonished when you began your examination by commenting on the defendant's post-arrest silence.
Oh my God.
That's basic law. It's been basic law in this country for 40 years, 50 years. I have no idea why you would do something like that.
Pro tip for all you aspiring lawyers out there. Of course, I didn't make it to this part of law school, but I feel very confident in telling you should probably not try to violate the Constitution in the beginning of your cross-examination. Probably a bad idea. Based Judge Schroeder. People are claiming political bias on this, but in reality, it's just a judge standing up for the defendant's basic constitutional protection. Wouldn't that be the defense's job, too? This is where the trial honestly goes off the rails and gets real fucking funny. Binger brings up Kyle's, I think it's a TikTok page, with the username 4 Doors More Whores. I'm so goddamn proud of this kid. If you don't think that's getting printed and put in my office, you're on some shit. Everybody's jumping on like, oh my God, how could he be so vulgar? Bitch, do you remember being in high school? The username 4 Doors More Whores would have been hilarious. It still fucking is hilarious, and I think just the fact that it is being brought up in such a serious context, in a fucked up way, makes it funnier. Man, if 4 Doors More Whores will get you put away, you and me are fucked. My face when they start going through my likes. Let's say I'm on a self-defense murder trial. If just the memes that I saved about this that were too spicy for this episode got put up in a courtroom, oh my God, The prosecution would try to argue that my inevitable suicide later on that afternoon would be a justifiable homicide. But of course, nobody's actually offended. They're just doing this as a character assassination, which is why they also brought up Call of Duty. And I'm not fucking kidding you. Holy shit, Binger is now bringing up Rittenhouse playing Call of Duty, saying the goal is to kill people with these guns. What the fuck is he thinking? This dude really took time off his Green Day cover band to ask a kid if playing Call of Duty made him want to shoot people at a riot. This Binger guy and his questions, he's a fucking joke. Also around this time, Twitter started to call him, if you're a Game of Thrones fan, they started to call him Littlefinger. Not gonna lie, I can kind of see the resemblance. Guess you could also call him Little Binger. For more quality dad jokes like that, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. We do that a lot here. I noticed you played Call of Duty. Your Honor, the prosecution rests. Sansa. Oh, I really wish that they didn't fuck up that show in the last season. Mr. Rittenhouse, you're familiar with Call of Duty, correct? Did you realize you were 2 kills away from being able to call in an airstrike? Are you aware of the destruction you could have wrought upon Kenosha? For a dude wearing that Star Wars lapel pin, this guy is horribly out of touch with pop culture and just... I don't believe for a moment he actually believes his own argument. I know he just threw this out there just to sway 1 or 2 soccer moms in the jury, or at least attempt to, but this was fucking ridiculous. But don't worry, the questions get stupider. Mr. Rittenhouse, why did my wife leave me? Please help me understand. Was it something I did? Was it because I spent too much time working rather than spending quality time with the kids? Please just tell me. I need to know. I can't sleep anymore. I have nothing left. Okay, he didn't really ask this, but he basically could have. His questions were fucking so irrelevant 90% of the time. It was actually frustrating to watch. Kyle had impeccable patience in not calling this guy a fucking idiot. In this next bit, Binger starts to talk about ammunition. Great, he's a ballistics expert now. Honestly, this next exchange is fucking gold. Speaking of gold, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Acre Gold, for making this video happen for us. We appreciate it. Oddly enough, not a lot of sponsors want to put their name on something like this, so we appreciate them giving us the freedom to do what we want to do and provide the content that you guys want to see. But yeah, if you want to give Acre Gold some love, go ahead and check them out down in the links in the description and the pinned comment. We appreciate their support. So Kyle used Full Metal Jacket 5.56 ammunition. He used this. It's seriously nothing fancy. It's the cheapest, like most readily available. If you go to a gun store and ask for 5.56, that's what they're going to hand you. So that means that there should be no discussion of hollow points in this courtroom, considering nobody used any. Yeah, Binger goes on a tirade about hollow points, which is funny because he doesn't seem to know what the fuck they are.
Hollow point bullets are designed to hit the animal that they're being shot at. Let's say a deer, for example, and explode inside that body, correct?
No, I don't think so.
Kudos to Kyle for just giving a straight, no, I don't think so, instead of a, what the fuck did you just say? The shape of the projectile does not make it a grenade, sir. I guess I kind of get what he's saying, but it really just, it expands and creates, greater flesh damage. It doesn't explode, but the ironic part is, he actually seems to be faulting Kyle for not using hollow points. You hear it a lot in Tldr and in gun stores and things like that. People saying, well, I don't know if you should carry hollow points in your defensive handgun, because if you ever go up in court, they'll just say it was made to kill. Part of the way they were trying to stick these reckless charges is by saying he was endangering the lives of people around him because of over-penetration by not using hollow points. Never fucking heard this argument before, and it's just as ridiculous as it sounds. Also, hollow points aren't like fucking frange. They don't disintegrate. If you gave Homeboy the spicy bicep and it kept going and there was some dude behind it, he's still getting that mangled, expanded hollow point 5.56 at several thousand feet per second. So when the laser-guided nuclear hollow-tip splody thing goes boom inside of an animal, is this when you did the racism? Now moving on from that before I have a fucking aneurysm, there was actually a new detail that I had never heard before. That was brought up in this case, and I think is super important. And this is to those people who are saying, oh, Kyle was asking for it, he had no purpose being, he had no reason to be there. And I could see that argument a little bit. It has nothing to do, legally speaking, with whether or not it was rightful legal self-defense. It literally has no bearing. But as to whether or not he was in the moral right or not, I could kind of see how that could be an argument. I don't agree with it, but I could see the argument. If he doesn't live in Wisconsin but came over to Kenosha just because he knew there was going to be a riot there, even though he lived 30 minutes away from Kenosha. I mean, it's not like he was trekking it a couple hours. It's basically just an imaginary line on a map. Speaking of which, who else says that? Borders are just imaginary lines on a map. We cross state lines. So going into this case, I'm like 95% on Kyle's side. I think he's going to walk. But that was the one detail that was really kind of bothering me. I'm like, oh, that might come back to bite him in the ass. And then we get this gem that, ironically enough, I would never have known had it not been for Binger asking stupid fucking questions.
And when you say your community, you mean Kenosha?
Yes.
Again, you're from Antioch. You're not living in Kenosha at this time when this all happens, right?
My dad lives in Kenosha.
Why the fuck did we not know this detail before? Apparently, Kyle was in Kenosha all the fucking time because his dad, and the good portion of his dad's side of the family, lives in fucking Kenosha. I don't know the details of their family situation, but that sounds like Kyle lives in Antioch and Kenosha. For the, oh, he was an out-of-towner stirring up trouble, that's a big fucking deal. In fact, I would pretty much say that just destroys that entire argument. So with that fact in mind, and also the fact that their star witness, Gage, Bicep Boy, shat the bed in front of the entire courtroom.
Correct.
The prosecution has very, very little to work with. Couple that with Kyle being an all-around star citizen, tons of eyewitnesses and things like that, just placing him like cleaning graffiti. We have photos of that. Actually walking around offering medical assistance to people. I think he said he fixed an ankle or something like that. They were putting out fires left and right, put out a dumpster fire, went to go put out a fire at a high school. Overall, just going above and beyond to be a good Samaritan. We don't have one piece of video showing Kyle himself antagonizing any of the protesters or rioters. This is verified by multiple eyewitnesses, by all the video, including the new FBI drone footage that was released, which, by the way, small aside, fucking FBI drone footage was released, by the way. I feel like I'm the only one freaking out about that. I mean, we all knew we were getting spied on. I mean, the FBI wasn't exactly quiet about it, even 10 years ago, talking about long-term flying surveillance drones that they can survey an entire city, especially when there's something like a riot or something going on. But fuck, they're just brazen about it now. They just released this to the public, like, oh yeah, we're spying on all your asses. And we can zoom in here, we got thermal imaging, this is Kyle, this is this. It's like, hold on, what the fuck? And they told nobody until now. I feel like everybody's way too cool about this. But that's something for... That's another time. Oh, daddy's head hurts. I have an app for that. And it is while he's out asking anybody if they need medical attention, where he is chased by the man who previously threatened him that night, Rosenbaum, aka the Kitty Diddler.
Shoot me, nigga! Shoot me, nigga!
Is chased by the man until he's cornered. He hears gunshots behind him. He's surrounded. He cannot make an escape. Turns around. Rosenbaum is running at him full tilt, and it is with all of his other options gone. He raises his gun and fires. There are two kind of people in this world, my friend. Those with loaded guns, and those who fuck kids. You fuck kids. Because we can't have a gun meme review without it. Marty Robbins meme. Gunfighter ballads and trail songs. Kyle Rittenhouse. Cheap Iron. Walking in Kenosha. Good commies. Balls of Steel. Original Intent. No means no. Not in my town. Kenosha hat trick. Don't skate on me. AR on a sling. Now, of course, the internet's been full of memes from this trial, but it is this part of the story where he is chased by Rosenbaum that he has to fire his first shots of the night. His first shots at another living human being and killing the man. That Kyle, during his recollection of events, having to relive this in real time, telling his story publicly for the first time since it happened, that he breaks down and cries on the stand.
Mr. Rosenbaum was now running from my right side, and I was cornered from in front of me with Mr. Zeminski. And there were three people right there.
That's not comfortable to watch. And I showed it to you because it's not supposed to be. The memes, of course, are all over, and they're funny. We can laugh at that. What is it? Everything's funny or nothing's funny. But this is a really necessary reminder that we're talking about a very traumatic event that happened to a 17-year-old kid. All of this, of course, exacerbated by the media coverage, the political spin, demonized by the mainstream media, and the amount of people coming out publicly saying, we'll burn cities to the ground if we don't get the verdict we want. I feel bad for the kid. I really do. Do I think he's going to get off? Yeah, I think he will. But if there's any justice left in this world, yeah, I think he will. That doesn't mean he's going to have a smooth life from here on. He's now one of the most politically polarizing people in the country, and he didn't ask to be. And it's politically polarizing for just bullshit reasons, too. Like, anybody with an understanding of the law regarding self-defense and an understanding of the facts of this particular case knows that he should walk free. And I fucking promise you, 99% of the people on Twitter threatening to burn down cities if they don't get a guilty verdict either have no knowledge of the law in regards to self-defense or no knowledge of the actual facts of this case outside of mainstream media headlines. Most likely, they have neither. So you have the entire other side fueled by lack of understanding of facts that are easily Googleable. And that fact infuriates me. I know I'm putting on the fucking dad advice Brandon hat for a little while now, but seriously, this is something really worth paying attention to. Because it's not just Kyle's case anymore. We are all on trial right now because this case will decide the future of the right to self-defense in this country. Mark my words. Do I think the memes are hilarious? Absolutely. All right, we've established by now I have a dark sense of humor. I think a lot of fucked up shit's funny, and I think it's important to laugh at stuff like this because, A, it's a great way of coping. It's worked pretty well so far, especially with the craziness of something like this. And B, I think it's a great tool to take the facts and make them digestible to guys like you, or girls, if those really exist on the internet. But most importantly, we have to free Kyle Rittenhouse. Won't there be riots? That's why we'll need him out there. I know this was kind of less of an emergency gun meme review, a little bit, but it was a lot of basically, I wanted to give it TLDR as to what happened in this trial, kind of the highlights, so you guys can stay informed and you just know what's going on, while also trying to be entertaining. Kyle the Kenosha Kid's trial resumes on Monday. If you want to watch live, I highly suggest Rakita Law. It's a panel of attorneys that give really good insight. They sit there and they watch the trial happen live, and they kind of give commentary, and they really do a really good job as to breaking it down to layman's terms and whatnot in real time, and kind of debate back and forth different tactics from the defense, from the prosecution. It's really good stuff. I'm gonna leave the link down in the description and in the pinned comment to their channel. Tell them Brandon said hi, and I really do think you should follow this because, like I said, this is gonna be one of the most important trials in recent memory. It affects all of us, and I think it's important to stay up to date on it. Plus, God willing, I want to be there to see it live when Kyle walks. Anyhow, YouTube, please don't take this video down, but I appreciate you guys watching to the end of this video. And as always, I will see you sexy YouTube mother lovers in the next video. Thanks.
Fuel is my obsession to make the perfect weapon, like Rasputin's rise to the top.
Mainstream media coverage has been predictably dog shit, so I know you guys are coming to the one place that you guys can trust to give you an unbiased... Mainstream media coverage of this has been predictably dog shit, but actually just horrible this time around, more so than usual. So I know you guys are coming to the one place that you guys know that you can come to. That made no sense. Now, mainstream media coverage of this has been dog shit, predictably, but actually in this case worse than normal. So I know you guys are coming to the one place that you know you can always Gage Grosskowitz, the boy who lived, come to die. Oh fuck! No! I was completing the quote. That's not what I meant. That's a threat.